Well, I don't know where to begin this story. Well, let's just talk about what happened. What happened to me, personally. Oh boy. Well, as you know, Thursdays are generally a day where I'm not around. Not in the chat room because I'm home with the kids. Now I have school, so we've got to take the kid back and forth to school. And I don't want to leave my kid all alone in the other room while I'm sitting here trading. Normally I don't trade because I know I'm going to be distracted. Something's going to come up where I got to run out of the office. So generally I don't do anything, but I do stop in from time to time. And I didn't want to be out of this day. I knew something dramatic was going to happen. I'm so pissed right now that I don't even know where to begin or what even to talk about. Let's just talk about Zolt for a second. When I was in the chat room, and I said, you might want to look at Zolt, because for some reason, that stock only moves on the Thursdays before expiration. I don't know what it is. And that was before this outstanding rally that we had. Now let's just take into account when I did pop into the chat rooms today. What did I say? There will be no way I will be going short anymore today. Now, I want to say thank God I was outside when the market was actually taking that last dump. Because I probably would have panicked out of some of the stocks that I had just bought a couple of days ago, like the Chesapeake, like the GTI. GTI, 1330 it hit? My God. I probably would have dumped it if I would have seen it there in a mad panic, blinded by emotions. Okay. So then the market started coming off those lows, a capitulation rally I'd say that was, which I was anticipating. Plus, when the Qs were at 40, or below 40, I made a little bit of a stand there at 39.80, then I sold them at 40, again at 39.90, sold them again at 40, and then I went out. I said, alright, I made some money for the day. And I said, remember, I'll be leaving at about 2:10 this afternoon. And I left. Came back. I saw the Qs had hit 39.50, but they were already back to 40. And off I went. The Visa had already made a decent move, and my computer crashed. Luckily, I got executed, and when my computer finally came back to life, I was up 4 points on my 140-something shares. Wow. So I sold that. And then off I went to go pick up the boy from school. While I was in the playground, I got a call from my buddy over at Morgan Stanley where I have an account. He said, I'm surprised you haven't called me. I'm like, nah, it's alright. I know where it's going to be alright. He's like, you know what? It's more than alright. He said, people are overacting. We're doing a lot better than anybody can think that we are doing in the midst of all this confusion and despair. So I said, fine. I was like, what's your stock doing now? And it had come off the lows of 11 and change, and it was at 14 or 15. He said, you might want to think about actually picking up some shares. And I said, no thanks. But then I got back to the office, and the market was in full rally mode. Yippee-ki-yay. Looking at all the trades and all the stocks that I was trading at the lows of the day, because I did do some trading, I found some opportunities where I could sit down for 15, 20 minutes at a time. Something you shouldn't try at home. Trying to just sit down indiscriminately during the day and think you're going to find something to do. Not a good idea. But I did find a way to make some money. Played some of these bounces, some of the squeezes. And then I got back and I saw the market was just on a tear. What was I to do? What was I to do? Was I going to jump right in without knowing exactly what was going on? Maybe this was just something I wanted to avoid. Because I was up money, I didn't want to ruin anything. So I said, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go with the most volatile stocks I can find. Let me get into some PCX. Let me get into the DRYS. Oh! They went up immediately after I bought them. You know what, the funny thing is, they didn't do much. But of course I sold them for my measly 15 or 20 cent profits. And the PCX was off to the races, and so was the DRYS. I wish I was making some of this stuff up. I gotta say one thing, again, the GTI, I probably would have dumped out of it. I had just bought some shares at $15.80 the other day. More shares, actually. And there it was. If I would have seen that thing breaking 14, I probably would have bailed at 14. So luckily, I still have that. But these are the days where a day trader should make enough money to compensate for the losses that he's taken over a good 2 or 3 months. Especially somebody who was looking long, looking for a short squeeze. Yeah. The Morgan Stanley, that was a lot of fun, huh? Most disturbing about this whole thing is, I think, is the Zolt. Because it was strong before any of this happened. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because I thought maybe this month I'll give those $15 calls a shot. Didn't do it. Of course I didn't do it. That would be just way too smart. Way too lucky on my part, as a matter of fact. Well, all I can say right now is the market's going to gap up probably tomorrow. Or maybe it'll gap down. I'd rather like to see it gap down and get a rally started tomorrow. But that's in my wildest dreams, that I'll actually be able to partake in it maybe. Wow, that would be something extraordinary. Yeah. Well, right now I set up a hedge in the Qs. I sold some $43 calls that expire tomorrow, and I bought the $43 calls for October. So, in a perfect world, tomorrow the Qs end at 43. So the ones I sold will expire worthless, and the ones I bought for the oncoming month will be up in value. Is it a dream? Is it a dream that maybe a plan that I formulated will come together and work out for me? Could it happen one time? Could it? Oh boy, maybe something will go right for me. Because I'm going to put my kids up for adoption soon. And if you're in the neighboring areas, somewhere in Jersey, I'm looking for a nanny to come and hang out on Thursdays. Because if I miss one of these rallies or one of these substantial moves one day on a Thursday, I'm just probably going to open up a vein and sit in the tub and drift away. All right then, until tomorrow.